The technique of micro-pitch shifting originated as a byproduct of the H910 harmonizer. It was a processor with a somewhat unstable clock that caused it to flicker between two pitch ratios. As a result, in the studio, engineers combined two of these units to achieve a rich stereo spread effect. Its successor, the H949 harmonizer, not only improved its clocking but employed new techniques to achieve small, precise deviations in pitch, cementing the technique of micro-pitch shifting as a useful production tool. For decades, as the algorithm evolved in Eventide's Ultra Harmonizer processors, musicians have used it as a way to make their guitar sound huge, make their lead tones jump out of the mix, and add dimension to any source. Things like vocals, keyboards, guitars, and even used its pitch diving capabilities on drums for added thickness. The MicroPitch Delay pedal is a dual pitch-shifted delay with fine resolution detuning and modulation that can be used for things like chorusing, lush repeating delays, and even creative sound design. It's effective whether used subtly as a thickener or set to the extremes for special effect. The simplicity of this pedal to make things sound bigger is what makes it fun to use. With the MicroPitch Delay pedal, you can easily harness the power of this iconic Eventide effect, heard on countless hit records.
Are we live? Oh, are we live?
I think so.
Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. How's it
Hey,
going?
how's it going, everybody?
My name is Christian Colabelli. I'm the product manager of Effects Pedals here at Eventide. We're very proud to introduce our new MicroPitch Delay pedal.
I think so.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
My name is Christian Colabelli. I'm the product manager of Effects Pedals here at Eventide. We're very proud to introduce our new MicroPitch Delay pedal.
When someone's not muted,
Yeah.
can you mute yourself?
I think so.
And so,
Okay, great. Well,
hey,
welcome, everybody. How's it going?
okay.
Let's go.
Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulties. This I can now say that this is part of our new line of pedals, and this is going to be known as the .9 family. So we've got a nice round table of people that have had this MicroPitch Delay pedal ahead of time, and I'm just going to go around and have everyone introduce themselves, and we'll start with my good pal to the right.
My name's Colin. I'm the product manager for plugins at Eventide, but I've also been working with Christian on the .9 family for like synth users and how synth users want to take advantage of effects pedals. So I think MicroPitch is really great for a lot of desktop applications, and you're going to see some more of that in the coming weeks.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just go around and have everyone introduce themselves. Joe Coatsy, how about?
Hi, everybody. I'm the National Sales Manager with Eventide, and I was responsible for the tutorial that should be live on YouTube. So if you want a really in-depth look as to what MicroPitch Delay can do for you, I recommend you check out the YouTube tutorial right after this live stream.
Awesome. Let's head to some of the development guys. Russ.
Hi, I'm Russ. I'm the director of signal processing here at Eventide. I see my relation to MicroPitch. I did the original algorithm in the pitch factor and mostly ported it from research on the H3000. So yeah, I got the MicroPitch hooked up to my Korg MS-20 right now. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah, hey everyone, I'm Tim Sternfeld. I'm a hardware designer at Eventide, and I did most of the hardware design for like circuit boards and metal for the this whole series of pedals. So
Awesome, man. Thomas.
My name's Thomas Pluta, and I joined this project a little later than most of the other developers, but yeah, I helped out with some of the firmware stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Donovan.
Hey, what's up, guys? I make sounds for the product page and the demo video sounds for Eventide, and yeah, I've always used MicroPitch for vocals. I've always thought it's like a very transformative tool that really takes like a dry and kind of barren vocal and turns it into something that really makes a song sound like a record. And yeah, I designed a lot of the vocal examples for the pedal.
Excellent. Hey, Jordy, my good pal Jordy, all the way from Spain. What's happening, brother?
How are you guys? Yeah, fine. Looking forward to this launch of the fantastic pedal, fantastic MicroPitch Delay.
That's
Wow.
great, man. And
Yeah.
Jordy's actually one of my beta testers, and he's been working on a lot of these .9 pedals. And you have an original H3000, right, Jordy?
Yeah, and it was something really cool to see that grid sound condensed on this little box. It's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Who's in the top right? I can't actually see. Oh, hey, Michael, what's up, buddy? I think you're muted. Hey, Michael.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep,
now
we
we
got
gotcha.
All right. I'm Mike from Pedal of the Day. I've been doing Eventide demos for a couple of years now, and I love this thing, and it's just great. These little preset cards are so handy and useful. I think that's going to really open it up and let people dive right in and get some great sounds, and then be able to explore it from there.
Excellent, excellent. What was your favorite part of MicroPitch, or give me something unique that you think that really stuck out to you?
I just love the pitch shifting that it does. You know, like adding that onto the delays creates just such a unique, like engulfing sound in the stereo, especially when you run it in stereo. It just sounds so big, and you can do so much with it, especially with the expression pedal values. It's just great pedal.
Excellent. Dean, what's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. I'm Dean. I run a sound design company called Electrona Sounds. I'm a sound designer, an electronic musician, and YouTuber. I've been doing some demos for the Eventide iOS apps for the last couple of years. I had an absolute blast working with this pedal over the last few months and doing some beta testing for this. I've done some of the presets in this pedal as well, and I'm really, really happy with the way that it's sounding.
I was just about to say, Dean, your presets are incredible.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's got some great super functional presets as well as incredible sound design presets. I think there's one called like Eternal Descent or Endless.
I think I have one in there called Endless Riser that sort of just keeps going up and up. Yeah.
Yeah, Dean, I actually copied that and made the foil of that. So I have
awesome
the Eternal Descent as well.
Awesome.
But that is such a cool idea, man.
Yeah, what I really like the most about this pedal, somebody was literally just mentioning this, is what it does to my audio in the stereo field. I'm really into like dub and techno and musical genres that use a lot of reverb and use a lot of delays. And a lot of the delays I have in the studio, I think, are really clinical and really like almost sterile sounding. And the difference when I'm running this on like my synthesizer sounds and whatnot is it sort of feels like I'm running a sonic artisan paintbrush across the sonic spectrum, which is very different than a lot of the delays that I have. It's a really unique sound, and I find that it really adds a really special like sonic quality that my other delays just don't have.
Dean, that's funny you should say that because even before I started working at Eventide, I remember I was looking for a delay unit to kind of set me aside, and I was doing a lot of touring at the time, and I wanted something that was super versatile, but also that sounded incredible. And I was shooting out between a bunch of different delay pedals, and I actually picked up an Eventide Time Factor. And as soon as I played through that, the first thing that I noticed was the warmth with it, even though it's DSP processing, the warmth and the mid-range that it added to my signal was just absolutely incredible. And then I did a deep dive and I played through all the other effects, and I was like, okay, it's not just this, it's literally Eventide. It's
Sure.
part of the DSP. And I think that is blatantly obvious within this very pedal.
Agreed.
You know, this can be, again, this can just be a functional tool where you set up a short slap and a longer lead delay, or you and have that beautiful warmth, or you can get crazy and have all these sound design elements. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So okay, Massimo, my
Hey.
good friend.
Hello, do you love my hat? Huh?
I love you,
Killer.
Massimo.
Yeah.
So, my name is Massimo Marini. I'm Eventide ambassador from Italy, and I'm the official stalker of Joe Cosi and Christian Colobelli for
Dude,
all the stuff around not only MicroPitch, but also other Eventide stuff that I always love. This is the MicroPitch Delay, and this was the first case, the MicroPitch, before you and we put the delay on it. And it's incredible how the MicroPitch sounds. I always used in studio, I'm a guitar player and a studio producer. I always used Eventide. I started from the H3000 DSX, and I used in the studio. They wasn't mine, but with H910, H949, and I found in this pedal the same warmth as Christian Colobelli said. And uh, also, what I really like is probably Eventide in the for many guitarists is associated to big sound, very soundscape, very wide sound. But also, what I love is when you use Eventide, you can't hear it because the micro pitch make your sound wider, wide and wider. And when you put in mono, all the things that are in perfect phase. And okay, I love Eventide and MicroPitch. You can see H9000 and Eclipse is. I love Eventide. I'm a stalker for Joe and
That's the mothership.
Nalia.
And Massimo is he's being very humble. He's an incredible guitar player, and he's an invaluable tool with explaining and demonstrating our product line. I mean, definitely check out his videos because he's got some all these guys. Check out all of the guys on this chat. Their videos are fantastic. And let me introduce Martin as well.
Hey, Christian. Nice of you to have me here. It's been really nice demoing this pedal. I mean, I'm a YouTuber and a musician, and mainly I also do a lot of sound design. And that's what this thing is credible for. You know, like Massimo said, you have so many mono sources that you need to have sound more than just flat. And this thing really delivers on that account. I do a series of demos where I have a lot of different weird sounds going through it, and it always comes out sounding great. And I also got to say, I'm a big fan of Dean's channel. That endless riser preset, that was great. You know,
Thank you.
That was really good stuff. Actually, that when I saw that, I thought, wow, this is the delay version of a shimmer reverb.
Yeah.
Like, because the shimmer reverb, it often becomes huge, right? But it becomes smeared. Whereas a delay version of that with a rising, that it's still focused and sort of present. You know, it doesn't become pushed back behind the speakers. Sure. And it was really well done. So it's nice to see you and talk to you directly. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, and your unusual sounds kind of video series is really interesting because you're taking an approach that I don't think a lot of other people are delving into per se. Yeah. Like your stuff is real. You're really kind of testing the limits of these pedals and seeing what you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I like bowing cheese graters and scraping cymbals and stuff like that. You know, that's what sound designers do. You know, I'm a videographer by trade, so I also do a lot of sound design for the videos I do. And yeah, I mean, I love guitar pedals because you get to not sit at a computer all the time. I do that plenty with editing. But the sound design has to be hands-on, you know, it has to have that physicality to it. And that's why I really like the new line of pedals.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of this .9 line of pedals, I was looking at some comments yesterday, and you know, this pedal line, just to alleviate any confusion, yes, this MicroPitch is an algorithm within the H9. However, I think there was a comment that came up yesterday, literally calling these pedals one-trick ponies, and I challenge anyone that says that to buy this pedal or to use this pedal one time and then play through it for 2 hours or so, and then see if you can say the same thing. See if you are saying one-trick pony, because in my opinion, I mean, Colin, Pat's behind the camera doing camera duty right now, but we wrote the demo tune and came up with all the, the sound examples for this thing. How many different things did we cover with just this MicroPitch? There's a reverb in here, a bunch of different delays, pitch stuff. Like we said, all the sound design elements. There's a pseudo looper as one of the presets. Basically, this pedal line kind of exposes what a universe of tone each Eventide algorithm really is. And it kind of gives you a glimpse into the endless possibilities that just this one pedal can account for sonically.
And dude, let's just talk about like the first 5 presets. Like whenever we're designing, one of these pedals, like the MicroPitch or the Black Hole, is really designed to give you that palette, right, of like the range of possibilities. Once you pull that out of the box, here are the directions that you can go in, and you can explore that, as far as you want to, but it's really designed to be like, yes, this is the MicroPitch, but you get a little bit of each of these other things.
Absolutely. What were you going to say? I think we
I was just going to say that the commercial that we started this live stream with features sounds all derived from the MicroPitch. So you hear the synth being processed through it, both guitars, the lead guitars, all sorts of things. So it's very versatile. And if you happen to catch the tutorial where I explain the function of each one of the knobs, I mean, just the slightest turn from one of them affects the others in very unique ways. And like you said, there's a universe of tone in between all of these, and it's a lot of times too, people, when, for example, they experience MicroPitch on a plugin or even on the H9, or heck, even on the H9000, they go through the presets, but sometimes the magic happens when you're just there and experimenting and tweaking, and you just run into all sorts of wondrous jungles of tone. I mean, it's really, really a powerful algorithm. And mind you, the original micro pitch shift algorithm from like the H3000, I think had something like 30 or 35 parameters, right, Russ?
Yeah, it had a lot. You have to go to the expert mode on the H3000 to expose it.
It's crazy.
So I think one of the common questions that we've seen in the build up to this was, is this the original micro pitch algorithm, the preset 519 from the H3000?
It in spirit, yeah. The thing that made that one magic, especially with the feedback knob, is sort of the feedback structure of the two voices into each other. Right? It's not like they were totally like independent, like the two delays, right? They cross-feed. And when you have micro pitch shifting up and down with the cross-fed delay or cross-fed feedback delay, you get these. That's how you get these interesting rises that don't, but it's not like as boring as it just keeps rising up and up, right? Like because of the two pitches, they're fighting each other. One's pushing one way, one's pushing the other. And then you kind of reach these little, it becomes unpredictable, and that's what makes it fun and sound good, right? Like things are boring when you know what they're going to do. So yeah. I know. Yeah, that was the main thing I took from when I researched that algorithm. And one of the really fun facts is I'm pretty sure the H3000 manual is wrong.
How so?
So that preset, the famous preset, 519, it tells you that it's based on, because the H3000 manual has block diagrams of all the signal processing, right? Which, because people back then were cooler than they are now. We all try to keep our secrets, but they were just open about it. And so it points you to an algorithm that is actually not the one under the hood. When you hit the expert parameters, they didn't match up. I was like, this is not this. This is the other algorithm. So I had to I don't know. Maybe they were being sneaky and trying to throw people off too. I don't know.
Misdirection.
Yeah, it was misdirection. And that's honestly, that's when I like cracked it on the pitch factor. I was like, oh, it's all here. The things that aren't the same as it's new. It's newer code, right? So ported up and everything. But in structure and in spirit, it's the same as the H3000 for sure.
Hey, my friend, can I say one thing?
Of course.
What I think that is great from the .9 pedals is that many of us are love to go in the deep of the pedal, looking for numbers and change parameters. But what I really like for the .9 series is that everything is real musical. So you just turn a knob and you don't know if you are at minus 25 or minus 30 or plus 25 or 30 or plus 9, or in which point of the parameters you are. Also, if you change the page to access to different controls, is everything that you turn, you can listen and you live the experience of the sound, and everything you turn sounds good in musical way. Okay, sometimes you can do something strange, but for sure is for the users, the guitar players, and not only guitar players that love to do sound design, they are not forced to use the software, or they're not used to be real expert. Just turn the knob and listen what happens. And I think that when you just pass some times on it is great. And I really love the active button foot switch that could be momentary. I don't know, is momentary or momentary, because it's like in studio when you use the fader for the send. I can use like a very long delay and play without any effect. I push the momentary foot switch and I get the sound only on one note and I keep playing. This is really great. It's very useful, very easy. No other switches or stuff like that. Okay, thank you. I close.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, the whole point behind this line is to have a more tactile pedal that you can actually use your ears and really be guided by that, rather than being trapped within, oh, is it this parameter? Let me tweak it 2 cents. I mean, again, Massimo's right. It's kind of, this line really is designed for a more tactile experience. I would love to introduce one of my favorite people who just joined the chat, Perfecto De Castro. Perfect.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Glad
bro.
to be here.
Hey.
How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me? Everything's good?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was going on a tangent. On the tactile thing. You don't even need to, with the MicroPitch, you don't even need to step on switches, because once you have the positive and negative envelopes and the sensitivity set up, you can actually activate the effect just by your playing touch. So with the how do I say it? With the positive envelope, what you can do is set the sensitivity so that if you play lighter, you activate the effect. Or if you lower the volume of your guitar, you activate the effect. Because especially for distorted guitar parts, sometimes you don't want a modulated, distorted sound, right? But
Exactly.
when you clean up your guitar, you want the modulation to come in. So that's the positive negative envelopes are perfect for that. I've just released my video, and I did a demo of that feature, actually, where when the guitar is full tilt, you have raw, dry guitar sound, and then for the quieter parts of the verse, or you can turn down your volume and you get the modulation. Or you can hold the note, and as the note dies down, the modulation kicks in. It's a very cool effect, and it's very, and I didn't have to step on the pedal. You know, it's everything is controlled by your hands and your fingers and your guitar. So it's a very interactive pedal in that sense.
Right, and that's a new feature that's kind of inherent to this iteration of MicroPitch, right? Russ or Tim, is that you? Did you throw that in there? Who designed that? Russ?
It was my team, the signal processing guys. We did that. Yeah, we every time you do something new, you want to add a little extra spice to it. So
thank you so much.
This is what we picked. So yeah.
So yeah, somebody on YouTube asked a question. Versus the MicroPitch that you find on the H9, you know, what are the differences? And it's precisely what Perfecto was talking about. Is you have new pitch modulation modes, negative and positive envelope modes. So basically, the concept is if you set your envelope to a certain degree, your guitar part will essentially be unmodulated until it goes below a certain threshold, at which point the modulation kicks in to add more character to your tone. Or the reverses happens as well, depending on which of the two envelope modes you're in. It's super modulated, and then as it rings out, it gets clearer. Obviously, the modulation mode that has existed on the H9 version is the LFO mode, which you can easily control the pitch modulation with an LFO. So yeah, those are the key differences. The other key difference for me is that on all H9 algorithms, you can't map the output knob to an expression pedal. But with the .9s and especially the MicroPitch delay, that is possible. So now output level can be mapped to an expression pedal.
Which is hugely important if you're going to use this MicroPitch. Say you want to, you have a solo coming up. I mean, just mapping that 2 dB boost, it's just, it's night and day. You're going to cut out or not cut out. You're going to just cut through the
stand
mix.
out.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Cut out.
Right. The other difference that might not be so obvious is that the pedal, the MicroPitch delay pedal actually has a guitar and line level switch. So you can map the impedance properly for, line level signals or synths or going into interfaces, as well as giving the proper impedance for guitar, right?
Yeah.
Additionally, you have a mono and stereo switch. So with a TRS connector, you can use mono or stereo cabling to connect to the .9, right?
Well, we should say, just to make that clear, that's for stereo inputs. If you're
input.
Switching. Yeah.
Input, right. So if you connect to this mono and you go out of out 1, your signal remains monophonic. If you go into it mono and connect both out 1 and out 2, you get stereo audio, right? You get the proper processing spread and width that this effect is so well known for, right?
Yeah, and just to kind of like tie that together with like the line level and using it with synths, I think Perf, that was a great description of using like the envelope, because you're really catering to or playing to the effect, right? And I think that's also something which is really useful to synth players who are used to mapping things to the envelope of a signal, right? So once you find that threshold and you've got your synth plugged into it, you can make those decisions like, I want more pitch shifting during the attack phase of my synth, or more pitch shifting during the decay and release phases of my synth. And that really just becomes a part of that structure that synth players are already used to in the musical sense. So
just kind of to add to that, why don't you just tell them about the synth video series that we just worked on? I mean, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and this is going back to the whole spread of effects that you can discover within each of these pedals. We're going to be premiering a series where we go through different applications, suggestions for synth users with the pedal. On this Sunday, I think it is, Nalia, what's the time for that one on Synesthesia? 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be
Ciao Nalia. Ciao Nalia.
Yeah.
She's in the room here.
So party.
Yeah, so there's going to be 4 different suggestions on how you can use this, and I think there's something to be said for the synth world where, you know, if you're in Eurorack, for instance, a really good module is something that can have a different functionality depending on what your patch calls for. And I think that this effect works in that sense too, where you can have tempo synced delays, where you can have stereo widening of mono outputs on a
Absolutely.
you know, ambience, and even car plus strong, which I found you could do with this pedal too, which is really cool. So the series, which is called No Strings Attached, we're going to explore some of that stuff starting this Sunday with Synesthesia. So
That's awesome. Can't wait to see it.
I was actually messing around with Car Plus Strong as well in my video. It's a wonderful pedal for that. Yeah, it's a wonderful pedal for exploring that sort of string sound from synthesis. You know.
Cool. Hey, speaking of Eurorack, folks, I've got a little example prepared. May I?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, can we just make sure that my level is okay? I'm gonna press play and just make sure that it's not too loud or loud enough. We're gonna get loud in 3, 2, 1. Is that too loud or is that loud enough?
No, perfect.
That's perfect.
Okay, here we go, guys. Let's check out this little example I prepared. I'm gonna just scoot the camera over just a tiny little bit here.
Holy smokes.
And this is just sort of, we're gonna start off here with just a really generic sounding techno patch, right? Just a bass and some drums. And typically I like to add like a chord stab to this kind of groove. You know, get some of that funky chord stuff happening over the top. But the chord is really dry, right? It doesn't have any life or movement. And this is what I really like about the MicroPitch Delay pedal, is being able to use it on these kind of techno chord stabs and adding a bit of life and movement to the top of these grooves and fill out that sonic spectrum. One of the things that I think is really special about the pedal too is the tone control. Because as a synthesist, we really like to have those filters to filter the sound, and this allows me to do just that, to go from really high frequency content, and filter that down, and then really emphasize the low frequency content. And if we take away all of the other sounds, and we just focus on that chord stab, and we take a really close listen, you can hear just what a wonderful delayed tail that the pedal brings to the table. And I'm really, really about the sound. Really about that sound.
Dude, yeah.
Very cool. That is so cool,
That
man.
was awesome.
Thank you for that.
That's good stuff.
Dude.
Thanks.
So we have another question from YouTube. The question reads, how well does this pitch up or down so I don't have to tune down to E flat? H9 is the best I've found, but he's wondering if this is the kind of pedal that we would use for that.
I was gonna say it wasn't designed for that, but if it works, it works. But you guys tell me.
I don't think you could do that, right? Because
50 cents, 50 cents.
it would need to be 100 semitone or 100.
Oh yeah, there you go.
100 cents.
Yeah, so to answer the question more directly, the answer is no. This is not the pedal to be doing that. Micro pitch shifting is really designed to work within a semitone, right?
Yeah.
It's half
So
the semitone.
the way right with it, but I'm just saying in general, like classically, we're going back to devices like the H949, and each pitch shifting module, of which there are 2 on this pedal, can go. One goes up plus 50 cents, the other one goes down minus 50 cents. So the sum of both of those is a semitone, but the result that it renders is not exactly going one full step down on a guitar, right? This is designed more to add width, to add dimension to your sound. In fact, we dub it as the effect that's, you'll know it when it's not there.
When it's off.
Right? So it's meant to be, to function in subtle ways, even though you can use it in many other ways to enhance your sound. But as it pertains to like a guitar tone, the pitch shifting is designed to function almost behind the scenes in a way. It's very unique.
So what you could do is get Dimebag Darrell's tone though.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like your lead tone.
You could shift a quarter.
Yeah, and again, in my video, I point out the fact that classically, a lot of the musicians used to or use micro pitch shifting to make their lead tones jump out of the mix. Like a lot of times you hear, because I'm a metalhead, a lot of metal guitarists, they'll use just that subtle pitch shifting that micro pitch provides you to stand out, right? Whenever you're, I don't know if you can comment to that, Jordy. You have an experience with that? Or?
Absolutely agree. It's this the sound processed by the micro pitch gives you that huge, that force that could mix on your solos or even in your rhythm parts.
Yeah, right. Jordy, in your video, I mean, you're literally the opening of your video. It's like a Paul Gilbert Racer X.
No, Paul Gilbert from the Poors.
Come on, that's amazing, man. I mean, and you're
no.
perfect for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Jordy.
No. It just that feels you when you hear that sound, automatically you really move it to that kind of music too.
Yeah. Yesterday I was listening for old Ozzy Osbourne tune, Crazy Train, and in the solo, I'm sure that Randy Rhoads used, or no, if it's not Randy Rhoads, was the sound engineer for the mixing.
I agree massively.
That the sound becomes wide. Wide is something like a pitch, but is very different for many guitarists. Is okay, put a modulation, but the differences between modulation and pitch, plus and minus, is very big, because there's no modulation, there's no movement. It's just you take a sound, you put outside the mix, left and right, and the wet is in the center or not, and the sound becomes in phase. So I'm pretty sure that it was like an Eventide H949 or stuff like that in those years.
I agree with you.
Yeah, more of a double tracker, right, than a pitch shifter.
Yep.
Randy Rhoads triple tracked.
Yeah,
he triple tracked every guitar part. That's why it sounds like that.
Sounds so big.
Let's not forget also that the one that pretty much put that sound on the map, if I may say so, was Eddie Van Halen.
Yes,
absolutely.
And early on in his guitar rigs, he used 2 H949 Eventide harmonizers. And the reason he did that was so he could get that width. The H949 harmonizer was the first processor in history that allowed you to do that micro pitch shifting in a deglitched way, right?
I was actually wondering why the choice of a red livery, a red case, and I was wondering whether that was the sort of a tribute to Van Halen, who obviously used red in a lot of his guitars. And
we'll say yes, that's the reason. Actually, red is the category of the pitch factor line of algorithms, right? That's the color we chose for those 10 algorithms that belonged to that pitch factor / H9 category of effects. So because this is probably one of the most iconic Eventide effects, we went with red for this pedal for that. But no, it was Eddie Van Halen for sure.
Yeah. I mean, also in the studio for, I know this is a guitar pedal, but this is a ubiquitous effect on lead vocals. Like, and all the way from like pop music to even like it's the secret sauce behind, like, I hope these guys scare me, but like Marilyn Manson, like Lemmy, it's like there's like -40 and screaming it with some distortion, and you sound huge and scary. It's like, so it's sort of that. It's it kind of goes on everything almost.
It's great for vocals.
Yeah,
really
for anyone too that's I mean, I'm into a lot of modern progressive metal. I mean, one of my favorite players is Frederick Bernal from Meshuggah, obviously, and this is like, if you want that crazy like Meshuggah lead tone, that's the pedal. I mean, sorry, I mean, I know that that's kind of a niche genre, but
I brought up metal, so whatever.
Yeah,
That's it.
Meshuggah is great.
Yes.
Now, going back to like the question on YouTube about pitch, I found a cool setting on the MicroPitch where you can actually use it to sound like a fake slide. You know, where you use the envelope and set the sensitivity where you hit the guitar just right, and the pitch will just dip a little bit before going back to pitch, and it's great for distorted guitar and making those fake slide, fake whammy bar sounds too.
Hey, Perf, let me ask you a question. Are you running this in the front of the amp or in the effects loop?
I've run it both ways. I like for the video that I made, I ran it in front of the amp. And it works great that way too. Even with the delays and the more ambient settings, it's what do you call it? You can dial down the mix so that you get that Van Halen style, echoplex before a distorted Marshall tone. But I've ran it also in the loop, and it works great both ways.
Yeah, have you run it in the loop on like a higher gain setting?
Yes, for the higher gain settings, if you want the clean delays or pristine, the clean delays and filterings and repeats and all that, it needs to be in the loop.
Right.
Yeah, so I've ran it both ways, but for the pitch shifting, the fake slide thing that I did in the video, that was in front of the loop. It just felt better.
Cool.
So the question everybody on YouTube is asking is, does this have an analog drive-through?
And what do the developers answer that one?
No.
No.
DSP.
Right. There's no analog drive-through, but we do have different bypass modes, right?
There's a good answer for it. I mean, so when you're dealing with pitch shifting, you're dealing with time, right? And inherently there's going to be delay, right? And so it's just, stop me if I get boring. Please just say, shut up. It's trade-offs. Music and art and life is all trade-offs, right? So we could do the analog drive path and appease the purists about that, and there's, or we can be like, all right, we want to be able to have our 50-50 mix actually line up with the delayed paths, right? I don't want to create any undue flanging or combing, because when you mix a signal with delayed versions of itself, there are trade-offs, right? So we just basically ruled that out, at least for this pedal. You're always going to have a minimum delay because of the latency of the going A to D to A.
Ridiculous delay.
Yeah, just a little bit, but what it'll sound like to you is not a delay. What it's going to sound like is hollow when you mix the dry signal with it. So that's the main reason on an effect like this, where the mix between all the voices and the dry signal really matters for the effect. I don't know if that.
A lot of people have kind of the I don't want to say wrong, but they have a notion that analog is always better no matter what, and I just don't agree with that. I think this retains all of the warmth in your dry path. I've never had a loss of tone from using an Eventide pedal when it's off or when it's on. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, most people lose tone because of impedance mismatches. That's really the thing.
And I just wanted to make everybody aware that there are kill dry options available on the pedal. So if you wanted to run a parallel analog path with MicroPitch Delay or any product that doesn't have analog dry path, you can use that method, right? And running kill dry will basically allow you to use the mix knob as just a volume control for the effects.
I think that most of guitar players think that, as Christian said, that the analog is always better. But before that, we must try the sound and listen if we can hear the differences. Because okay, analog what is better, okay, but when we use the tape, and I started to do records when we had the tape, the Otari, Studer, and MCI, but was better from certain point, but we get the noise. So everything has a positive and negative aspects. If you have the real, say, a true bypass, we must think that is real a real true bypass, and I'm mono. If it's a real true bypass, this will not be routed to both output because it's true bypass. So a mono signal put on two outputs has to be a -3 dBs to match the exactly signal, instead having differences between you engage the pedal or you go in bypass. So I think that I tried this pedal and I didn't know that it was true bypass. I don't think about it. I just connect my guitar to the amp, listen. I connect the guitar to the pedal and listen. And I need two things. One is when the pedal is not engaged, I have my sound. When it is engaged, I have my sound. When the mix to zero, and I have the effects. In this case, when you engage the pedal, whether it's on or off, with the mix to zero, the sound is the same. This is a good point to start for me.
Yeah. It's actually amazing when you have the sensitivity set up right, even with the pedal not engaged, or when the effect is below the threshold, the bypass and the above threshold sensitivity sound is the same as well. So it's very transparent in that regard.
There you go.
Should we talk more about vocals? Donovan, I mean, we mentioned earlier the metal vocals, but I think Donovan, you might have some more insights into how you've been using it and what you suggest for vocalists.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of people, myself included, sort of find themselves caught in this space where, you don't like a fully acoustic vocal, but you also don't like, this like modern, fully electronic, auto-tuned vocal. And I think what MicroPitch does very well is it allows you to like hit this sweet spot where you get the widening and you get this sort of metallic electronic touch to the vocal, but it's still very human, and I think like there are very few products that like hit that sweet spot very well. But MicroPitch does, and I think it's obviously it's the effect of the influence of the 3000, but that sort of very wide MicroPitch style vocal is definitely very popular in pop music right now, and alternative R&B, and even like electronic music. And this pedal really sort of gets to the point of that sound, I think, like quicker and more effectively than our other products in the past. And like you guys said, you can pull it up. The first 5 presets are like super, accessible. Another point I wanted to make, that this is really great for backing vocals, doubles. Oftentimes, pre-MicroPitch, what I would do is I would record a vocal, I would have it going right down the center of the stereo field, and then I would pan hard right and hard left. But now actually what I've been doing with the MicroPitch pedal is just, putting MicroPitch on my backing vocals. And, even if I don't have it going on the lead, or I'll just have like a much, slighter, more subtle version going on the lead, I'll have MicroPitch on my backing vocals, and it'll really just kind of fill out the whole stereo field in a way that's super rewarding. And like I said, I can't stress enough how like finding a good balance between like a good, authentic acoustic sounding vocal, and then like kind of to split the difference between that modern, more electronic sound is really useful, because I feel like what a lot of people are looking for is a little bit of both. They don't want to go like full auto-tuned out or like full processed out, but they also don't want to just have like, a bland, dry vocal. And I think MicroPitch really does a great job at splitting the difference.
Yeah, and that's like a pretty common mixing engineer's technique with MicroPitch, is like to pitch the vocal up so many cents, down so many cents, after the fact, to get that presence and depth of the vocal in the mix. So this is an effective hardware solution to get you to that record quality going in or in a live context too.
Absolutely. And I also just think the delays are great on this thing. Like the different patterns that are kind of programmed into the presets themselves. So great. Like obviously we heard that on that synth stab, but even on vocals, a lot of times I will kind of prefer using delays over reverbs because they take up less space in the final mix. And I think that all the delay based more auxiliary plugins in the pedal are like really, I mean presets in the pedal are really good and really useful, and I would definitely give them a try on your vocals. And like I said, if you put it on a lead vocal and it's maybe seeming like a little too much there, I would definitely put it on your backing vocals, because that's what we've been saying this whole time, that micro pitch is that thing that you mostly notice when it's not on. It's that thing that really takes away, where it's like, oh, something has changed here and I'm not sure what, but I like it significantly less. And that is most true for vocals, I think. Like sometimes I will take it off a vocal and it'll completely diminish the extent to which I'm enjoying something I'm working on. And I think it's excellent for that.
I just want to mention, since we're speaking about presets, the way to access, there's 5 onboard presets, obviously, but the way to access the deeper presets is by tapping into Eventide Device Manager, or EDM, and you'll have access to all the presets that were created for this. I think there's like 38, 43. I lost track, but there's a lot that will give you a good starting point to take it away with. Okay, I think we're running about, yeah.
I have one comment to say here, because I
Sure.
keep seeing people put the same comment on different platforms, and it's regarding preset 519 on the H3000. Can this pedal do what that preset does? No. Can it get you close? Absolutely. The difference is, if you use an Eventide H9000 harmonizer and you access the micro pitch shift algorithm, there you're going to find a level of complexity nobody in the pedal world wants to deal with. There are 35 parameters in that algorithm that give you that platinum album sound that everybody looking for the 519 preset is looking for. So I want to dispel that difference, right? Because I don't want people to get this pedal and go, well, it doesn't sound like my H3000. It's because that specific preset that has become such a mainstay for Eventide, you can only find on the Eventide H9000 rack mount processor. Okay? Let's just
Good. Joe, taking you to school.
Dropping the knowledge.
Yeah, I just want to say too, I love the ease of the functionality of this, especially with the secondary button. Just from a sit down and plug and play standpoint, you can go in and get really technical and tweak everything, but as far as just opening the box and plugging it in and instantly knowing everything's labeled so well, you can go in and just use that secondary button to just sit and tweak, and without even going into the device manager, you're lost for hours. And I think that a lot of newer pedals have, you got to read the whole manual and you have to go in and tweak all this different stuff. And while you can do that with this, it's really nice to have something that is so plug and play right out of the box.
Yeah, the presets become like a great springboard then, because you can just go exploring off on tangents very quickly, because all the controls are just there.
Yeah, and
So
like you said, taking those presets and then being able to tweak them instantly, and then being able to go save them if you want, or add them to the list, it's just the functionality is top notch all around.
Mike,
just a quick note about the presets. I just want to say real fast that I did a deep dive from a synthesis point of view on this pedal, which I just released this video on my channel. And in that video, I show how to access the deeper presets over MIDI using devices like the Electron Digitact.
Oh, that's really cool.
So there's lots of like super deep information about how to like access some of those hidden features over USB and using like the TRS MIDI with this pedal on my synth video.
That's awesome. And I think, Mike, your point about just opening the box and playing, that's exactly what we want you to do with this pedal line. We want you to literally take it out of the box, plug it in, power up, and have great tone. And there's a, you know, there's a manual, but I use mine to hold my coffee while I'm as a coffee rest. You can see the ring on it right there while I'm making presets. That's the point of this line, you know, and we're going to be releasing some more in this line in the future. I'm going to reveal now that we're going to be releasing the Ultra Tap on April 15th. So that's about a month away. And then we're going to be releasing. Look at that. You don't know what we're going to be releasing, but you can leave what you would like or what you think this is in the comments and maybe respond to you. Or probably not. But anyways, I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I don't want to make this go too long in the tooth. So let's just go around. If you guys want to give a sign off, you know, the influencers or beta guys, if you want to just tell them where we could, you know, where we can find more information about you, let's do that. Someone take it away. Dean,
yeah, I'm at Electronic Sounds Audio on YouTube or electronisounds.com. Check out my deep dive video on this. You definitely won't be disappointed. Tons and tons of examples of what it sounds like, as well as some information as to how to get into those deeper features. Electronic Sounds Audio.
Thanks, Dean. And Mike, how about you?
Pedal of the Day on all the social platforms and on our website. Just do a search for that, and YouTube. I wanted to say too that I towards the end of the demo that I did, I hooked this up with the Black Hole in stereo. So the last couple minutes of the demo is these two together, and it's
awesome.
It's pretty incredible.
That's awesome, man.
So go check that out. Pedal of the Day.
Thanks, Mike. Perf, how about you, man?
Oh, just search Perfecto de Castro on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And my MicroPitch video just went live as well, and you'll see all sorts of guitar stuff. I demoed the presets as well as 3 of my own settings with the pedal, which is very cool. So I had a lot of fun with it.
Thanks so much, Perf.
Okay,
Jordy,
thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Jordy, how about you, man?
Hi, you may find me on Instagram like Martinez with 3 R's, or on Facebook, YouTube. You know, you will find some stuff from this great brand from Eventide, videos and things like that. So check it out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jordy, for being here. I really appreciate it. Massimo.
Okay, my socials are like my name and family name, Massimo Varini. I just uploaded a video for MicroPitch. I have many videos for MicroPitch. I'm very happy because I just got the silver button from YouTube.
Oh,
and
congrats.
So, yeah, 100,000, but now I am already at 120,000.
Wow. That's incredible.
Wow.
I'm very,
Congratulations.
very happy. And I have a lot of videos for Eventide, not because I'm collaborator, but because I'm really a fan of Eventide, and you probably are used to. But every time that I speak or I write to Tony Agnello, I have duck skin on my skin because for me it's like a myth. Eventide invented something that changed the way to produce music. So, okay. Stop. Massimo Varini, and you will find me on social. Stop.
We all get goosebumps talking to Tony as well. Every 5 minutes. Martin, how about you?
Yeah, you can find me, Martin Yamula, on YouTube, but also on Instagram. Mainly do a series of just weird sounds, and I just also released my Eventide MicroPitch demo. But I played odd stuff like electric sitar and fretless baritones, and then synths, and then cheese graters and stuff. So it's a bit weird, but yeah, I enjoy weirdness. It's good for sound designers, but also if you just want to explore what a pedal can. So
very cool.
Awesome.
Love to check that
You
out.
know what? How about Donovan? What about you? I mean, like, dude, you're using this stuff on your own original music. Why don't you give a plug, dude?
Absolutely. Spotify, Donovan, DONAVON, or Instagram, DONNYNNON. Like Christian said, I use it on my vocals all the time. For those of us singers who aren't really real singers like that, but can hold a tune and know how to produce, MicroPitch is great for taking your vocal to a place where you're way more comfortable with it.
Outstanding. Again, I just want to express my gratitude for everyone taking the time out of their day for being here with us today. For more information, you can just head to our website, eventideaudio.com. Obviously, the social, because you're probably watching this right now on one of our social platforms. But yeah, go check out the pedal, play through it. I think you guys are going to love it, and we'll have more of these for you as well. And any questions, leave them below. And this is Christian signing off. Love you guys.
Colin, again, check out the Synesthesia this Sunday for the No Strings Attached premiere, and check out future live streams for Ultra Tap and what's to come.
Awesome.
Just to let everybody know, at 3 p.m., I'll be live with Pedal Boards of Doom, introducing MicroPitch Delay and also answering more of your questions.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one. MicroPitch. Makes your vocals go so much deeper.
Nice.
All right, see you guys.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks for
Bye.